Jammed roads, potholes causing accidents, electrocutions, essentially poor infrastructure. As if the problems of Bengalurians were not enough, the water crisis has now left people staring into the oblivion. Bengaluru continues to grapple with an ongoing water crisis. But political parties engage in blame games without proposing viable solutions, with the opposition in the state also gearing up to protest today. However, amid the worsening water shortage in Bengaluru and the temperature inching towards 40 degrees Celsius, there's been a growing call for companies to switch to work from home and educational institutes to resume online classes to save water and reduce the burden on the employees and students.
आप बताइए कि कितना डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है। पानी हम देख रहे हैं कि बोरवेल में जो है पूरी तरह से पानी सूख रहे हैं, तो क्या कहना चाहेंगे, कितना डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है घर को मैनेज करना?
बहुत डिफिकल्ट हो रहा है। किसी को कपड़ा मत धो बोलता है, कभी नहाने वालों को भी नहीं नहाना, ये हफ्ते में एक टाइम नहा बोल रहे। बहुत मुश्किल है। पीने का पानी तो और दूसरा मंगाता है, इतना गंदा पानी लेके आता है। ये पानी की देखने से बहुत मुश्किल होता है, काला काला काला। वही तो
टैंकर्स मंगवा रहे हैं। टैंकर्स के चार्जेस पहले कितने थे? अब
पहले 600 500 ऐसा था, अभी 150 दिया। अभी आ रहे 1,500 दे रहे। अभी देखो आज बोल रहे 3 दिन पहले बोलना, 4 दिन पहले बोलना, कितना धमकी देता है। अभी बोल रहे मेरे को पानी लाने के लिए 11 बजे।
What would you like to say as far as water crisis is concerned? How much it is affecting your work as well?
So it is definitely affecting our work because we are running pillar to post for water. So as Auntie has said that it takes around 3, 4, 5 days to get a water tanker, and we are not sure how the water is going to come to us. And secondly, the most important part is that, as you talked about the water bodies, we have a lake around us, but because of the funds that is required to bring that lake into a situation where it can hold water, the local authorities are not able to do anything. The local leaders, they are trying their best, but somehow it is not happening. So this is a great crisis. If we don't take care of it right now, then yes, definitely we are heading towards Cape Town.
For the first time, we have taken control over all the private tankers. 1,400 plus 100, almost 1,500 tankers have been registered. They will be under our control. We have capped the price where illegal exploitation was going on. It has been water on the size of the tanker, on the size of the distance of the travel. The rate has been fixed. We will be giving free water to all the slums and the poor people. 110 village borewells have been dried. That is the serious concern. But new borewells also will be dried. We have given sufficient money to our legislators also.
ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ ನೀರು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ನೆಪ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರಿಸುಮಾರು ಹತ್ತತ್ರ 5,000 ಕ್ಯೂಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ನೀರನ್ನು ಮೊನ್ನೆ ರಾತ್ರಿಯಿಂದನೂ ಕೂಡ ಕಾವೇರಿ ನೀರನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಇದು ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ತಮಿಳುನಾಡಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಹೊರತು ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಕುಡಿಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಈ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಮೊದಲಿಂದನೂ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಬರ್ತಿದೆಯೋ ಅದ್ರ ಮುಂದುವರೆದ ಭಾಗ ಇವತ್ತು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಜನಗಳಿಗೆ ಜಾನುವಾರುಗಳಿಗೆ ನೀರಿಲ್ದಂತೆ ನಾವೇ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಷ್ಟದ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಎದುರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಕುಡಿಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀರು ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಇವರು ತಮಿಳುನಾಡನ್ನ ಓಲೈಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇವತ್ತು 5,000 ಕ್ಯೂಸೆಕ್ಸ್ ನೀರನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಮಂಡ್ಯ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಜನತೆಗೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋಂಥ ಮೋಸ.
All right, I'm being joined in by my guest this afternoon to help us better understand the situation, of course, in the state. JS Prashanth, spokesperson, BJP Karnataka, Lokesh Jindal, political analyst, and Sandeep Anirudhan, founder, Citizens Agenda for Bengaluru. Good afternoon to all of you. Thank you very much for taking the time out. Sandeep, I'll come to you straight first. You know, it's for probably the first time that we're not talking about the traffic and the other sort of poor infrastructure in terms of what we've seen in the past couple of months. But having said that, this situation is actually not new to the city of Bengaluru and of course overall to the state of Karnataka. We know despite which political party has been in power, beg your pardon, this has always been the situation. Just for our viewers to better understand this, although we've shown the ground reports, we're showing them the visuals, how bad is it?
Actually, we've had a water crisis going on for maybe the last decade or perhaps more than a decade. The reason it has suddenly sprung into the limelight is because earlier we had the BWSSB providing water to homes, and then they reduced the supply. As in, maybe they were supplying every day, then it became once in 2 days, then it became once a week, then it became once a fortnight, and people just adjusted to it. They didn't have a demand. We were we were willing to compromise, and we were willing to put up with the lack of service. And citizens started shifting to, when the BWSSB wasn't supporting the citizenry, they started shifting to private tankers or drilling their own borewells. So this created a stress on the groundwater. And as a consequence of this, what happened is the groundwater level aquifers kept depleting year on year. And now it's hit some 1,500, 2,000 feet below the ground. And now what's happened is the tankers depend on the groundwater, and a lot of homes depend on groundwater. And suddenly it's all come to an end because you reach the rock bottom. Therefore, what's happening now, even the tankers are not able to cater to the demand there is now, which is why it has suddenly sprung into the limelight. So this has taken a long time, and it has been in the coming for the last few decades. If you ask me, the other problems that Bengaluru face, the traffic problems, congestion, overcrowding, pollution, illegal buildings, illegal layouts, these are all interlinked to the water crisis, because the water crisis is the outcome of this misgovernance over the last 7 to 8 decades, where literally every law is violated. And the violations and lawlessness is right from the top down, because first of all, the state government doesn't comply with planning guidelines. It doesn't comply with the, what do you call that, the 74th Amendment of the Constitution, which mandates a planning authority for the city, the Metropolitan Planning Committee, because they have to do master planning for the city. The city has no master plan. And we want to become Singapore, but Singapore has a 50-year master plan. We have a 0-year master plan. So every government in the last 6 decades has violated various laws. And then if you look at all other laws, the wetland rules, the Karnataka Groundwater Authority, Groundwater Act, then if you look at Environment Acts, you list them, and the BBMP bylaws, the BDA bylaws, which permit construction according to the resources of the city, but then everything is violated. Where you can build a 1-floor building, people build 5-floor buildings. Where you can build a 2-floor building, people build 7-floor buildings. Just imagine the kind of population pressure that's being exerted on the city for its limited resources. So this is lack of lawfulness, lack of planning, and more importantly, very poor policies. Bengaluru on its own gets about 17 to 24 TMC of water from rainfall. And we used to have an ancient system of lakes and Rajakaluways, which used to hold the water here, and through its wetlands, it used to go into the ground and revive groundwater. Now we don't have that system. We destroyed it, and instead we are getting the same amount of water from the Kaveri, which is 100 kilometers away. We get about 18 TMC of water, now it's going to increase to 22. But
all right, Sandeep, I'll have to interject you there, but fair enough. You are saying this is a result of misgovernance, and you're absolutely right. In fact, in terms of this outcome happening, because there was a report that also had come in earlier to see what really happened in Cape Town and if Bengaluru was actually going to go that way. But I understand that Lokesh and, of course, Prashanth continue to stay with us. Prashanth, you heard what Sandeep had to say as an active citizen voice. But here is something that we want to understand, right? At this point of time, when even the Deputy CM himself is saying that he also doesn't have adequate water, it shows the ground reality. Is this the right time for politics to come in to rake up the Kaveri issue, especially with the fact that the BJP now claims that this particular water has been given to Tamil Nadu, when we know it's the Supreme Court order that's being followed?
Nivedana, firstly, BJP is not playing politics here. Even before the Kaveri Management Authority had directed to release water, Congress government here, to please their India alliance partners, had released water. Had they not released the excess water then, had we complied only with the Supreme Court order, or had they waited till the Supreme Court gave directions, we would have saved a lot of water. To please their India alliance partners, Congress government ensured that there is free flow of water to Tamil Nadu, which is resulting in this situation in Bangalore now. And Congress doesn't have the, courage to face the people, because they've realized now how they have failed Karnataka, and now they're trying to shift the blame, saying that they cannot do anything. And look at DK Shivkumaran. He's the one who's politicizing the issue, because he has apparently named a coordination panel only for Bengaluru rural Lok Sabha constituency with some 14 or 15 nodal officers to look into water shortage. Is he trying to say that his water shortage only in Bengaluru rural and other parts does not have? He's only trying to concentrate on
but Prashanth,
his
let me
brother's
interject you
constituency.
there. Are you saying that as a Bengaluru citizen, you're not facing the water crisis?
No,
For a minute, let's keep the politics aside.
No, DK Shivkumar has appointed nodal officers only for Bengaluru rural, not for other parts. Why? I am asking Congress.
Okay.
Lokesh Jindal is a Congress representative, not a political analyst. He is office bearer of Congress. Let him answer whether there is water crisis in Bangalore or not, or only is it limited to Bangalore rural, where DK Shivkumar has appointed nodal officers. Congress government is playing with the citizens here. They are playing complete politics, and they're wanting to now use this for elections to say there is no water shortage elsewhere excepting Bangalore rural, so that he wants to probably provide water only to Bangalore
Prashanth,
rural.
you made your point, but what Sandeep essentially was stating is that it doesn't matter which government has been in power in the state. Misgovernance has led Bengaluru, and of course, essentially seeing what we see with crumbling infrastructure. But Lokesh, coming to you as far as what Prashanth was saying, would you want to counter that?
Well, Mr. Prashanth, first of all, this is a national calamity and not just an area of regional politics. However, let me get your facts right. The present calamity in Bengaluru has to do with the digging of private borewells, a tendency which gained prominence during the rule of BJP of 5 years. In fact, you can get your facts corrected. And it was during that time period that we saw thousands and thousands of borewells. They were illegally constructed and water was exploited, which is a reason why the water level has sunk to this low. And secondly, after the government came to power, it has initiated various measures to stop this rampant digging of borewells that was taking place in Karnataka. Thirdly, the state government has been time and again reaching out to the center that it must consider this as a national disaster and funds must be released. But why are funds not being released?
Lokesh Jindal,
why are
be
funds
mindful,
not being
for
released?
cities groundwater, you cannot blame the center. You are trying to have a punching bag for every problem that Congress creates. You are trying to shift the blame to center. You are not even able to appoint the Congress representative.
Please have patience. Have patience. During the reign of S.R. Bommai Sahab, there are various instances whereby there was this constant problem of illegal borewells being dug and the water table going down, famines happening. So it is not something that has suddenly erupted now. Since 2016 itself, this problem is ever persisting, especially in Bangalore and the adjacent area.
You were in power from 2016 to 19. By admitting that you were in power from 16 to 19, which means the root of the issue goes to Congress.
After Mr. S.R.
The root of the issue goes to Congress. Thank you for accepting that the root of the issue is Congress.
Sir,
and also, be very clear, as Congress masquerades...
All right, Lokesh and Prashanth, I have to interject you there, but Lokesh, taking a point from what you said, you're essentially blaming the BJP government for the rampant digging of borewells. But let's also tell you, in terms of what is the water tanker prices that are currently being caused for citizens of Bengaluru, these are exorbitant prices. Why can't the government come up with a better solution, an economical solution? You saw that report also that we played out of how much the citizens are actually suffering.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. In fact, I support you on this viewpoint. But please tell me, don't you think that the state government needs funds which it was entitled to via a resolution passed by the center? We saw that 6,000 crores were to be allocated for drought-prone areas, which the center is refusing to allocate to Karnataka. Why this form of attitude towards a state just because it is...
There is not a single rupee due to Congress government here at all.
You please,
center has cleared all its dues.
Mr. Prashanth, in fact, Karnataka cabinet went to Delhi and held protests.
The Congress, your cabinet has been, we know what your Congress government is doing. Congress government is trying to fool the people here by saying shifting blame to center.
Forget politics here. People are suffering.
Exactly.
There is a responsibility on you as a representative of people.
As a Congress office bearer, you appear on the show as a political analyst. This shows that Congress is afraid to face the people. You are a card-carrying office holder of Congress. You appear as a
Mr.
political
Prashanth.
analyst. This displays
Prashanth,
Prashanth, we're digressing from the subject, although what is common here is that, you know, both of you are essentially blaming the previous government, the current government. But Sandeep, we know the reality is completely different in terms of, it really doesn't matter in terms of which political party has been in power. And this is probably essentially why the misgovernance has led to a situation like this. Like you were pointing out earlier, it's not just about the water. There's no long-term solution for the infrastructure of the city.
Correct. See, in fact, the problem is that both these governments have been in power over the last 3 decades. 1992 is when the 74th Amendment was passed. There has been no Metropolitan Planning Committee. Therefore, the city has not planned for its resources. And then we have not followed a good water policy. In fact, the shocking thing is there is a national water policy since 2012 and there's a state water policy from 2022. But it has never been implemented. If it is implemented, then we'll take an integrated approach to water management. We have the 17 to 18 TMC coming from Kaveri. If we recycle all the sewage that flows out into the city's drains, that will give us almost double the amount of water. And if we restore our ecosystem and ensure that rainwater is also sequestered, then we'll have triple the amount of water. But none of these governments have done anything like that because they don't follow the policy. The policy is just on paper. And then again, the subsidies we give to Kaveri water pipeline with a lot of wastage, about 30 to 50% of water is wasted in that. That subsidy can be used to revive all the local water ecosystems which were destroyed by wrong policies over the last 7 to 8 decades. So the thing is, governments generally don't have a fix on what policy is required. And they're just talking about funds, allocations. But what is the use of spending all those funds, even if we get them, if you don't have a vision, if you don't have a plan? I think we need to set up one ministry as a water board or something which has veto rights over all other ministries. And it should have ecologists, hydrologists, and specialists who understand this. Ecology, hydrology, water, everything. And without a new master plan, not a single building or a single project should be allowed in Bengaluru. That will fix this. Because right now, it's splitting at its seams. This is hugely over capacity. This city doesn't have the resources to cater to the amount of population we have. As emergency measures, I think right now we have to depopulate the city a bit. A good way to go would be to announce work from home for all IT employees. They'll go back to their hometowns. Therefore, the pressure on the city might go down a little.
Sandeep, I have to interject you there, but of course, as a citizen voice, you've given the long-term solution and probably also answered in terms of if the government, anyone from the government is listening in the state, that how to get the funds and what is the need of the hour. And on that note, I want to thank all three of you for joining us with your valuable inputs. As far as this is concerned, one can only hope that the situation will get better. We're slipping in a quick break here on Mirror at 1. Stay with us. We're going to be right back with more news.